Well, hope you're having a good day. This is one of the last ones we have left. We're in chapter 26, and this is the first lecture. A couple things I want to talk about on this. The first is that the statute of limitations. We haven't covered that enough, I think. The statute of limitations is a period of time in which someone is allowed to file a lawsuit. And if they go beyond that statute of limitations, whatever that time period is, it's barred. They can't bring it. And it varies. Negligence law, tort law usually is 2 years. That is from the date that the tort happened, you have 2 years to bring it. I believe we talked about breach of contract already. From the date of the breach, you have 6 years in which to file your lawsuit. So for under the UCC, from Commercial Code, Article 2, you have 4 years. There's different time periods in the UCC, but for Article 2, it's 4 years in Michigan. So the reason that's important is sometimes you're in between 4 and 6 years. I recall a case that another attorney had, and the big fight was it under the UCC, which is 4 years, and therefore it was too late, it was time barred, or was the case covered by common law, breach of contract, which would be 6 years. And so the big fight was over, what came under. All right, so the first part of this book chapter is on remedies. And they're talking about remedies of the seller first. So just think what this means. That means that the buyer is breached. The buyer didn't do what they're supposed to do. Usually didn't pay, all right? But it could be that they failed to accept conforming goods, or they wrongfully rejected conforming goods. So that's the thing to keep in mind as we go look at some of these, what these remedies are. So, and some of them are a seller's lien, if they've already sold it, they're not paid, they have a lien against the goods that are now in the possession of the buyer. Seller's remedy of stopping shipment. If you're supposed to get paid and you shipped it, of course you'd stop the shipment. If they're not going to pay you, why would you do that? It makes no sense. Cancellation by the seller. They breached. What are you going to... They had to make up a chapter here, I guess. A resale by the seller. That is an opportunity for the seller to try and recoup the damages, the loss sustained because of this. Or sometimes, and it doesn't happen often, they can actually make money off of this because whoever breached, anticipatory repudiation, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It turns out the market went up for it, so they can actually make money on it, and they get to keep it. Seller's action for damages on the market price formula is this. At the time of performance, if the market price is different than the contract price, the seller can sue the buyer for that differential. So if the deal was that they were to buy bushels of corn, again, bushels of wheat, right? I don't know farming at all. Bushels of wheat for $3 a bushel. I have no idea if that's a good price or not. And the market has now risen to 4. Somebody's not going to want to do this deal, right? Well, that's when that differential comes in, the difference between the price and the contract price and market price. And some of the other damages make sense. Sometimes you can sue for the purchase price. And the example of the book is a good one. If you're a printer and you print off brochures for somebody, for their business, for their whatever, and then they don't want them, well, what are you going to do with them? Throw them away, right? So in that case, they would sue for the entire purchase price. Normally, though, you look at lost profits, and that goes back to what we talked about under the common law. It's the same idea. It's what, if you remember, I made references, that was the expectation damages, the benefit of the bargain, the money I expected to have in my pocket after the deal was completed and done properly. How much money would I have? So those all fit into there. Keep in mind that incidental damages are more easily awarded on the UCC than they are the common law, but still have to prove what your incidentals are. Non-cent remedies don't matter. So anyway, that's just an overview of what those are.